Mandarin and Manatics. This isn't half bad because I know like 75% of the people in here. So yeah, hey Joe. So when I got called, or was it a text message or a call? I think it was a text, and got asked to do this. My first thought was, okay, cool, whatever. Like the topic can't be that bad. He's like, what do you want to do? And I'm like, just let God handle it, right? Like surprise me. He goes 10 and 11. I went, fuck. So I'll start with 10, and I'll tell you in 11 why I went fuck, because that's the important part, right? 10, I've worked 10 a lot of different ways. The first time with my first sponsor, it was just straight out of living the program. I texted him every day. If I got lucky, like once every 2 weeks, he'd text me his back, so I'd get to see like somebody else partaking. And it's changed. Like the way that I've worked my 10th step over time is like the reality of it is like what I'm working on is constantly changing, right? Like every time that there's a character defect present in my life, like I'm trying to remember. Here's a good one. Did I brake check anybody today? And after about like 3 weeks of saying, yeah, like guess what? Like I haven't brake checked anybody in a while. Like if I brake check somebody at this point, like I probably need to pull over and like really figure out what's going on with me. I've worked a 10th step in a relationship with another addict. My current iteration of 10th step is like around like a really specific set of issues, right? Like, because like what I realized was like outside of like getting clean, like almost everything I've done since I've got clean, like I've done it for other people. Like if I commit to do something, like I'm coming because I told you that I was going to come and show up, right? Not because like I actually love myself. So like my favorite question on like my current 10th step is, what did I do today because I love myself? And it's changed my perspective, and like I get these really cool moments, not all the time, but like now since I read this every day, and like I write down like the real shit. Like I took a shower because I love myself. I made my bed because I love myself. I folded my fucking laundry, right? Like all the little things, not just like I went to a meeting. Like that's a separate question. What did I do for my recovery today? I hydrated, I fasted, and like I go through there and like my perception's changing. It's no longer, I'm getting in the shower and making sure I smell good so people will go, oh, you smell nice, and like I feel good. It's like, no, I do this because I actually care about myself. And like little by little, like I get to these really cool points where I'm like, oh, like I do love myself, right? Now I'll let you know when I figure out how to do that all the time. I'll bottle it, sell it. I'll be rich. It's going to be great. Some of the other ones that I'm trying to think. Hold on, I'll just pull it out. A cool part of this is I do it with 3 other people every night, and the same 3 people send it back every night. And like what's developed out of that is like probably 3 of my closest friends, and it's a level of vulnerability that like I really haven't had with anybody. Like it doesn't matter what the fuck's going on. Like here it is. Here's what I did today. Like sometimes they honestly find out about it before my sponsor does. Just if my sponsor's not available, like I put it in our group chat, and guess what? I get a text back pretty fucking quick. And I'll just read it. It's, did I turn my will and my life over? Last night's is yes. Did I maintain conscious contact? Yes. How did I hurt myself today? Yesterday I vaped and I resisted my feelings, right? What did I do because I love myself? Did I do my affirmations? Was I honest, open-minded, and willing? What did I do for my recovery? Here's another one that's big is did I operate on any untrue belief systems? Like I'm not enough, I'm unworthy, I'm unlovable, I'm whatever it is, right? How's my codependency today? What do I need to practice? Detachment, self-love, boundaries. Yesterday's a self-love, self-worth. Continue to practice detachment as a skill, self-confidence. Setting boundaries, and like a new type of meditation that I'm doing, which is just an emotional inquiry. Do I believe I'm worthy of unconditional love? And then the last one, which is probably pretty important, which I had to add because I forgot when I typed this out, was do I owe amends for anything to anybody today? Just in case I do need to go back and do that, because like my character defects will show up sometimes. But I like this. Like this iteration of this 10th step is about like what I actually need to work on in my life, right? Because luckily, like I've been clean long enough. Like I don't have dope problems anymore. Like I've got fucking Andrew problems. So I guess like really when I look at the 10th step, like it's changed time over time, and this is just the season that I'm in. It's going to change again. Like I'm kind of grateful I don't know what it's going to change next time too. Like maybe it'll be cool and it'll just be like actually maintenance rather than like ripping the hood off and like actually like reworking the entire car, so to speak. But when I got asked to do this, the real reason I went, oh fuck, was the 11th step, right? Because I'll be honest, I've been clean. It'll be 4 years in February. Like the steps that a couple rounds through the steps, like I'm really good at 1, I'm really great at 2, I'm good at 4, I'm good at 66.6% of 5. 6 is easy. 7 sucks. 8 and 9 were amazing. 10's good. Had a hard time with 11, and then I get to 12, right? Like there's a common denominator in all those, and it was God, right? God was the hard part for me. For a long time, like my higher power was, I guess until probably like 90 days ago, like my higher power was very simply like the program, going to a meeting. Like there is evidence that there's more than one person there, and it was loving, caring, and it helped me fucking stay clean, right? Um, like I had a lot of anger and resentment towards God, but like about 90 days ago, I changed sponsors, and like the first thing I asked, well, not the first thing, I grabbed up like my last 4 steps, went over there, read them all to him, and at the end of it, I was like, "Can you teach me how to pray?" Like this is. I've got a friend that says this, and I've always liked it. I didn't understand it, but I knew it meant something. She says like the spiritual part of this program is like the wet part of the ocean, right? Well, I was jumping the ocean with a fucking wetsuit. Like I wasn't getting wet in that area. I said, "Can you teach me how to pray? Like this is lacking. Like this is the part of my program that's lacking." And he taught me how to pray. Like he showed me what he does. Like we have entirely different like belief systems. Like I don't know what my higher power is still to this day. Like I've just got evidence that something's working, and like I have to keep it that simple. Like that's enough for me. I don't want to know anymore. Like that's cool. So he taught me how to pray, and how he started teaching me how to pray was very simple. It was ask for specific things, and I did that, and I'd see them come true, and like I got enough evidence to go, okay, like something's going on here. Like I can put my faith in something. I also changed home groups. Like I started a meeting here after the last convention. Hold on. After the last convention, and I went back to my old home group, like the meeting that I got clean in, right? So what I thought was like I was setting myself up for like something completely different. Like what I realized, like God had a different plan, right? Like I changed sponsors because I thought I needed more in a specific area, but really what I needed more of was like actually understanding step 3, the latter part of step 5, like 7, and actually 11. So I went through like a really painful situation like 6 weeks ago, and honestly, it was probably like the toughest part of my recovery. And like I wholeheartedly believe like switching sponsors and like that little bit of nurturance, like with a higher power, that nudge from the sponsor is like what got me through it, right? Because there's one night he's like, "Hey, I just did this. I just read step 11 in the basic text." He's like, "Go do it," and I did it. And like, there's a lot in there, right? There's a lot packed in there, but I think my favorite part. I've got it highlighted in the book on my phone, so I'm gonna pull it up. Because if not, like I'm a serial misquoter. Like I'll get you the message, but the words won't be right. And it's we begin to pray only for God's will for us. That way, we are only getting what we are capable of handling, right? And like reading that and like changing my prayer, like I'm gonna try not to cry, but like there was something to hold on to there. Like it doesn't matter. Like I can handle this. The 11th step says we sought through prayer and meditation. It's not prayer or it's not do this or do that. It's do both of these. But it's a lot of emphasis. It's like praying only for knowledge of God's will for me and the power to carry that. And sometimes that looks like it's like I don't know what the fuck your plan is, but like just show me the next step and I'm willing to take it. Like I know I'm willing to take the next step, right? Like if you had asked me in like the situation that I was going through, I'd have told you it was the end of the fucking world. Like I'm sure Chris, who like was like, "Hey, come stay at my house," can attest to that. But like what I realized is it highlighted like a pattern that like I'd carried for 20 years, right? And like I was finally like I'm done hurting myself, and I've had enough pain in this area. Like something has to give here, and there's a common denominator in all of this. So that immediately happened. It's like, all right, every day I'm going to pray, I'm going to meditate. So I haven't missed a day of meditation in like I don't know what's that, like 50 days at this point. Like my meditation practice is wild, and for somebody like with ADHD that has a hard time sitting still and quiet, to like be able to sit down for 5 minutes and meditate was one thing, and like now at this point it's like 20 years. Like I don't know or not 20 years, but like 20 minutes. Like, I'm not going to tell you that like God's came down and spoke to me. I don't know, but like just me being able to sit still and sit with myself is enough. I've started branching to like different type of meditations. Like a big thing for me at this point is like somatic meditations, like where I sit down and like whatever feeling comes up in this meditation, like I go all the way back through like every really painful moment of my life and just sit there and sit with the feeling, right? So you know what? Maybe that is like there's God speaking to me through meditation. It's like it's not my feelings that hurt me; it's just the resistance to Him that really fucking hurt. And like letting some of that shit out, right? Like letting some of this, like it's the root cause for me. It's like all the stuff that I pushed down and avoided. That I've been accessing through meditation, and the cool part of that is like I get some compassion and like love towards myself. It's like, damn, like you went through a lot, and you've survived. At this point, like conscious contact looks like praying several times a day. So my morning routine is I'll get up as soon as my eyes open, like I'm praying. Take the medications I'm prescribed, get up, take a shower, and I get to work. And before I go in, like 15, 20 minutes, whatever it is, however much time I've got, it's usually 10 to 15 minutes in the car. Like I meditate before I go in, and just start my day that way, like cool, calm, collected, like with a clear head. And some days, like I might step out and do it again, just whether I need to, whether I want to, like I don't know. Like I try to, before I do anything, is pray and just feel like, hey, like whatever you are, just like come into this, like God come into this, right? Like at this point, it's just easier to say God, which is a lot for me because like I really detested that word, like for the first 3.5 years of my recovery. Like I was the person, do not talk to me about the G word. Like I'm not hearing it. I'm not going to church with you. I'm not going anywhere with you. Like no. When I look at other like examples of God's will, like I was walking around the parking lot at work with like 2 coworkers, and like at that point in time, like my prayers were just surrendering every 30 seconds, right? Like it was one of those. It was an every 30-second type of deal. And I see somebody walking across the parking lot, and I work in like a white collar office building, and I just see somebody wave at me. I'm like, what in the hell is this? And I didn't recognize them, so I'm like, hey, how are you? Like, part of it's probably like I'm 98% wrapped up in my head, but they took their glasses off, and it's actually one of the committee members for this convention. And I about lost it because I walked over and I just gave him a hug, and I was like, you're my God shot for today. I was like, you don't know how bad I needed you to show up like in this moment, right? It's like those little things. It's that moment. It's seeing a sunset, right? Being able to go, thank you, God, that's the conscious contact. To be able to get up and just be like, hey, like let me surrender every aspect of my life to something greater than me. Like please help me stay out of the way, and then knowing that as long as I'm doing that, asking for the knowledge, whatever its will is for me, that like I'm not going to get more than I can handle. Now, the next part of that is, and the power to carry that out. Like what that tells me is like I do have a part in this, right? Like it doesn't tell me that God's going to fix all my problems. That I'm going to find a magic genie lamp in the parking lot and everything's going to take care of itself. It means like I've got to put one foot in front of the other and really stay out of my own way. Now, the cool part of that is sometimes I try to get in my own way, and then whatever my higher power is, like, takes care of the other part of that, right? Like, I might shoot a text message and be like, oh, I'm going to go change how I feel tonight. And I don't get a text back, and then, like, 20 minutes later, I'm like, that was probably the right thing that have happened. Like, thank you. Like, little things like that, or switching jobs in the middle of all this and having, like, a place where I can actually go to work and, like, just be myself and, like, having, like, a supportive, like, environment around me. I don't know, like the big part of this is like this is the spiritual part of my program was the part that was missing. Like I had the mechanical part down, like go to meetings, be involved in service, work 8.5 of the steps to the best of my ability, or 8 1/3, right, or 8 2/3. But the problem is like I was staying stuck. And like it's just become habit. Just pray and meditate. Like my life is better, right? Like if there's nothing else, like I said, it's cool to sit down and feel my way through all this stuff that I used dope over for a long time. Like, damn, if I'd have done this 20 years ago and just sat and meditated and felt my feelings, like I might have saved myself a lot of harm. That's not the case, right? but I've got a tool moving forward, or just sit there and be quiet. And, my favorite part of meditating is at the end when I open my eyes and everything just feels different. It's like I've got a whole new set of eyes on me, and it's like I'm looking at the same shit I was looking at, 20 minutes ago, but it's a different perspective. Like having some inner peace and some calmness, because like that shit doesn't come natural to me. You know, it's wild. It's wild. Or being able to do meditations and talk to myself in a loving, kind, caring way, right? Like some like meta meditations toward myself. Like, that's influential, and doing that as a regular part of my practice and meditating and conscious contact like changes the voice inside of my head, right? Or makes me go, hey, I see you really care about me, you really nasty voice in my head, but like you have to find a different way to talk to me because like this isn't cool. Like it hadn't worked in 33 years. Like I don't think it's going to work this time. And then like the thing that I'm most grateful for is just it's simple, just your will, not mine, be done. And then the peace that comes after that is like just simply knowing that whatever is going to fall on my plate, like I can handle it. It might not be fun. It might be really painful. I'll probably have the potential to make it a whole lot worse at some given point in time, but I'm going to get through it, and I'll get through it without using dope. So with that, I don't know if I have anything more to say. So at this time, I'm done, and I'm going to turn over to Jalena.
Well, I just got to tell y'all, I'm not going to share near as good as that shit because that was some like really good shit, I'm Jalena. I'm an addict. My clean date is 12/15/17. And damn right I'm proud of that today. I started my journey in Florida. I was born and raised in Florida, Bradenton, Florida. Go Gators. Y'all can rag on me later. You don't like it, call your sponsor. But yeah, I was born and raised in Florida. And I'm so blessed that I've had the journey in recovery that I've had, right? I'm sorry, this is very nerve-wracking to get up here. So anybody who did it earlier today or does it tomorrow or whatever, major props to y'all because this is no good. Anyway, yeah, whoever asked me to do this, were they out of their mind? Yeah, and that person's out of his mind. Anyway, so I started my journey in Florida, and prior to coming into these rooms in my life, I've had a whole lot of trauma in my life. So whenever I came in, I was angry. I was real angry. And what is usually anger? Anybody did any work on it? Come on, somebody tell me what anger really is. Fear. But I didn't know that whenever I first came into these rooms. All I knew was anger. And I did not know there was a God. And I did not know that I would find so much love in these rooms, that I would not call y'all acquaintances or friends, I would end up calling you family. And to me, that meant something. Because my family, they turned their back on me a long time ago. So I came in. I was the bitch that was throwing tables in the meeting. None of the women wanted to talk to me. They'd look at me and just turn their head. They still do that today, but I think it's because I have a thing called RBF. I really don't think it's because I'm unapproachable today, but I have worked on that a lot because, through my journey, I was always so angry, and out on the streets, you got to have that defense mechanism, right? Because whenever you're out on the streets and, you're doing dope, you got to be boss lady out there. Right? So I came in here thinking, I got to be boss lady. I can't let any of y'all in. And what I did was I pushed people away. So it took going into the meetings, and my first NA sponsor, she was just like me, man. She was a real bitch. She was the most vulgar woman in the room, too. And whenever I looked at her, I said, that's the woman that's going to sponsor me, right? Yeah, buddy, did she. And I thought it was going to be easy, right? Because we were just alike. Her name's even a lot like mine. Her name is Angelina. Mine is Jalena. So every time they caught me in the strip club, they say, what's your name? Oh, I'm Jalena. I'm the one with cranberry juice in the strip club, but that's okay. Anyway, but what she told me was, honesty without compassion is brutality. And I have to sit back and I have to focus on that daily, right? Because whenever I have to look at a 10th step, because I got to take my personal inventory daily, I look at it and I say, okay, Jalena, how are you acting today? Are you acting out of character? Most of the time. Thank God I work from home. If I did not work from home, I would probably be going to jail on a regular because I just don't like people. I love all y'all, but in general, I don't want to be out shopping right now. I'll be in handcuffs within an hour. So I have to remember that. I have to remember that, you know what? Everything I do, and I say I'm a reflection. I'm a reflection of Narcotics Anonymous, right? So I got to go out here into this world, and I represent something so special that I got to make sure I'm acting right. And more importantly than that, whenever I come into these rooms, I got to remember honesty without compassion is brutality. Because I could sit here and I could see that newcomer walk in and do all the wrong things. I got to tell y'all this. So I came from Florida, came here to Tennessee. I never even saw a mountain before. And I came into the rooms here, and oh boy, the shit was just different, right? And I went to a meeting called The Reprieve that was here in Knoxville. That was my first meeting I ever went to here in Knoxville. And they had bars on the windows. I said, oh shit, I'm in deep now. This feels like back home. I went in there, and it was a room full of newcomers. And I wanted to sit there, and I wanted to judge every single one of y'all, right? Because I had some clean time. I knew what it was about. None of y'all knew anything. I learned real quick how to humble myself because a newcomer put me in my place that night. Made sure to tell me that they loved me. A newcomer told me they loved me. I should be the one telling them that instead of judging them. They told me to keep coming back. I didn't tell them that. So if I'm supposed to be a predecessor, why aren't I showing love? Why aren't I showing compassion? And so often I get wrapped up in a Nazi way, right? I get wrapped up into that. But why? Let that newcomer be the newcomer. I was a newcomer at one time. I went out there and made a whole hell of a lot of mistakes. You know that 13 stepping? I did that shit. Yeah, y'all men are not the only ones who 13 step. Women do too. Women, stop feeling through your vaginas. Okay? I say it all the time. I don't care. If you don't like how I say it, call your sponsor. But it is my responsibility to carry the message of Narcotics Anonymous. It is my responsibility to be a woman of integrity. Because, I don't know if y'all notice, women sometimes have it a little difficult in here. And instead of me being a woman putting another woman down, maybe I ought to lift her up and tell her how much I love her. Maybe I ought to show her the way my sponsor showed me the way, and still shows me the way. She's an asshole, but I love that woman. Yeah, she's an asshole. She's right there. I had to also learn by taking a personal inventory of myself, right? I had to learn how to love myself. That was really hard to do. It's still really hard to do every single day. I got to look in the mirror and I got to tell myself that I'm beautiful, and I got to tell myself that I'm worthy, and I got to tell myself that I'm loved. That's really hard for this addict to do. So what I do is to help me in my 10th step every day is whenever you walk in my kitchen, I have a self-affirmations board. It's a dry erase board. And every day, I erase that board, and I put 10 positive affirmations about myself every single day. Let me tell you how hard that is to do. I got to regurgitate the same shit, right? And then my higher power is saying, no, you said that yesterday. You got to put something else on there today, right? Because I try to cheat the system. I also had to learn how to take my inventory on being a mother, right? I didn't know how to be a mother whenever I came in here. I was a shitty person. I damn sure was a shitty mother. I stole from my kid. I lied to my kid. Hell, I lied to everybody. So it was something so easy for me to do was to lie in my disease that it carried over very quickly into my recovery. And I had to check myself on that, you know? And I have to check myself on it every day. Because if my daughter asks me something about my past, I choose not to lie to her today. I tell her the truth. Yes, I sold your Xbox for crack. Yes, I did that, Kaden. I'm very sorry. Mommy loves you. You know what I mean? Like, how do you say that to your kid? I stole your shit, but I love you. An addict says that. That's who says that. And yet we still mean it whenever we steal their stuff and we say, I love you. We still mean that. Sorry, this is a lot harder than what I thought it was going to be. So being a woman of integrity, that's a big thing to me, right? I try to show that with my sponsees. I try to show that through doing service work, and it hasn't been easy for me. So I'll start by saying my sponsees, right? Again, I got to let them be a newcomer. I got to let them make mistakes, right? I can't say to them, no, you're wrong. Like, all right, hey, if that's what you want to do, go ahead and do it. You'll call me later, tell me how you messed up, and I'll be here for you. And I'll say, okay, what step did you apply in that, right? My sponsee's here today. I got to tell you, that girl calls me. She's going on 4 years.
Yeah, I'll pick up 5.
5? Okay. She still calls me every single day. Like clockwork, that bitch calls me. And some days she'll be calling, and I'll be like, oh, fuck. Here we go, right? I got to answer this phone again. And she knows it. I've told her 1,000 times. But yet she still calls. And what that does is it helps me just as much as it helps her. And let me tell you something else. If you don't think your sponsees can call you on your bullshit, mine puts me in my place all the damn time. She sponsors me more than I sponsor her half the time, if you want to know the truth about it, right? So that's another thing. I got to be a representation for that woman that wants help. And show her the way because somebody showed me the way. I also learned a lot in my journey by taking a personal inventory of myself, right? Because, of course, I was the addict that jumped into a relationship as soon as I got here. Because y'all couldn't tell me nothing. I had this. Well, I'm here to tell you, too, that relationship I got into, it didn't cause my relapse. I caused my relapse. Let me say that right here and now. But I should have took the suggestion or the subtle command, right, not to get into that relationship. And here's why. Because I didn't love myself yet. How the hell was I going to love somebody else? There's no way. How the hell was I going to let somebody else love me? Was he even worth letting him love me? Because I'm a woman that deserves great love today. Yes, sir. Right? So about 5 years into my recovery in Florida, I relapsed. And you wouldn't have thought that because I was a service junkie, right? I did everything in service. So much so, I did so much service that I stopped taking a look at me, right? And I'm not saying service caused my relapse. Service didn't cause my relapse. Jalena caused it because I chose to put something else above my own personal recovery. I won't do that again. So 2 things. I just got out of a relationship about, a year ago? Year and some months? Okay. So in case y'all didn't know it, me and Wade were in a relationship. I'm just going to call his ass out. Okay. And you know what? It was a wonderful relationship. And you want to know what taking a personal inventory taught me? Is I had to take a look at my shit. I couldn't just look at his shit, right? And whenever it came to us parting ways, again, I had to look at my shit. So whenever that parting ways occurred, we both sat down like adults that work a program, and we didn't yell and scream. We didn't call each other names. We didn't even try to place blame. We sat down and we said how much we loved each other. Now, I don't know about y'all, but whenever I wasn't working a program, I wouldn't have done that. That man would have been the devil. Nope. Get out of my house, devil. But today, because I do a thorough 10th step every day, right? That man came to my house yesterday on Thanksgiving and shared a meal with me. He comes over and he still helps father my child, and she loves him as a father. He is a wonderful friend to me. And I don't know what I would do without that man in my life. He will always be a part of my life. That's what working in 10th step did for me. Service. So you know how I said I did too much service? Well, I have this real asshat of a sponsor that said that I needed to get in service because I had been here in Knoxville for a while now, and I didn't get involved in service because I thought that service was a part of my relapse for a very long time. And it took getting back into service to realize that that wasn't a part of it. It was me. But today I get to be a part of H&I. And of course, that asshat put me up to be chair of H&I. And once again, it's changed my life. You want to know why? Because I see people come in and they give everything they got to bringing a message to people in a facility that has no other way of getting the message of Narcotics Anonymous, because that shit saves lives. They could come out there and never hear about Narcotics Anonymous and go out there and use and die. We get the opportunity to bring it in and share on a different level. So, again, maybe that's not part of step 10. I don't really give 2 shits. Maybe I'll go home and take my personal inventory tonight. Step 11, I also struggle. Step 11 on a big level. Because with what happened in my past, I hated God. I couldn't understand how God could let people suffer and let children die. I just couldn't wrap my head around it. There was no God. There was only the devil. But guess what? If I believe in the devil, I got to believe in a God, right? They go hand in hand for me. And I had a hard time praying. And they told me you got to find a higher power. So for a long time, Narcotics Anonymous was my higher power. To a lot of degree, it still is, because I love this program that much. And how I meditate, it's very different than most people. I do it through music. Like this morning, I love me some Jelly Roll. Jelly, 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 because I'm jelly. Anyway, he sings this song called I Need a Favor, right? And it talks about, I only talk to God whenever I need a favor. Guess what? That's what I've been doing. I've only been talking to God whenever I'm in the shit. I'm in hell, right? Why don't I talk to God whenever I'm grateful? Why don't I tell God how thankful I am for Narcotics Anonymous, or my child, or my home, or the people I have around me? So that's what music does for me. I get into music, and I'm able to thank God for what I have today. Be in my feelings. Let me feel it. It's a moment where I put away my phone, right? Because Facebook's the devil. And that's how I do it. I mean, it may be right, wrong, in between, but it helps keep me clean. I hope everybody gets to stay clean, but the sad reality is some of us aren't going to. Some of us are going to walk out of here, and at some point, we're going to use. And maybe one of us is going to die. That's how serious it is. I don't want to die today. I don't want any of y'all to die either. So, thanks for letting me share.